Let's wait for people to get in here. Come on. Come on in, guys. Greg Abbott's declaring an invasion at the southern border, getting ready to activate the National Guard. Talk to me. Come on. Hey, guys, how's it going? A lot of stuff going on right now. Let's talk about it. Who's in here? Let's see. How do I do this? I don't normally do live chat. Let me figure it out. Stand by. All right, so Greg Abbott declared an invasion at the southern border. Meanwhile, you've got missiles dropping in Poland and the potential for Article 5 to be invoked. Who's in here with me? Let me see. How do I do the live chat? I am. Yo, hey, okay, I'm seeing it. Elton Butterfield, how's it going? So, implications of Greg Abbott declaring an invasion at the southern border. He's now got the authority to declare the drug smugglers and cartels as terrorist organizations. That's good stuff, right? But what else does he have the authority to do now? Why did Abbott wait so long? Maybe he need. Yeah, could be, but the timing is very suspect in my personal opinion. He's now got the authority to put armed guards on the border, and that's not a bad thing on its face. But is this going to potentially, slow people down from leaving the United States if we have to? He's now got the authority to go make agreements with foreign powers as well. He's also got the authority to bring foreign military forces into Texas to help secure the border. Is that what we want? I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but obviously the potential exists. So, we need to talk about this kind of stuff. What are some of the hey what are some of the potentials now? If Article 5 is invoked, I'm heading grocery shopping. Yeah, you should definitely get some of that taken care of now. Definitely. Focus on your water first and foremost. Everything else is secondary. Can he kick the Border Patrol off of his border? I wouldn't know about that. I know he can enter into agreements with neighboring states. I also know that he can enter into agreements with Mexico now. He's also got the ability to create like emergency holding areas, like prisoner of war facilities. So anybody that's potentially doing business with the cartels could very well get rounded up. Like I said, I mean, I'm here on the border. I haven't really gone down there and taken much video myself, but I might have to do that now, especially if he does activate the National Guard and send them down there. What are you guys thinking about this whole matter? Was it great? Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Elton. I know you're all over the place. Definitely appreciate your support and thumbs up and all of that. Yeah, so I mean everything going on right now. You've also got, I don't know if you guys have seen, you've also got New York Federal Reserve is starting to roll out their CBDC. They're doing this with 3 banks right now. The timing definitely is odd. The timing definitely is odd. You've got New York Federal Reserve, HSBC, Wells Fargo, and one other bank that are rolling out CBDC now. You've got basically the border getting shut down now. You've got Article 5 potentially could be invoked now. This is all at the same time, all at the same time where we know that the election in Phoenix, and not just in Phoenix, but several other places were fraudulent. So we've got the fraudulent midterms that just happened, right? Article 5 it could potentially be invoked. Borders going to be shut down. And New York Fed is rolling out CBDC all at the same time. So my question to you guys is like, is it go time now? And if it's go time, what is go time? Right? I mean, what, I don't know what to say, guys. You know, if you've been watching my channel, you know what I think about the CBDC and this whole blockchain voter-based ID. You know, I personally believe this is going to be the mark of the beast, right? And so anybody that accepts the mark of the beast, you know very well what the Bible says about mark of the beast. If you take it, there's no more hope for you. You go straight to hell after that. Anyone who accepts mark of the beast, straight to hell. That's what the word of God says, and my personal opinion is what's getting ready to happen is to roll it out. They're getting ready to roll it out. And to do that, they've got to shut down our borders. They've got to shut down the borders. They've got to stop everything and then force it on us, right? Now, it's going to be under the guise of something else when they do it, obviously. But, on the surface, it's obviously something that we're going to support, right? We're going to support shutting down the border and kicking out the drug cartels. Obviously, we're going to support that, right? We're going to support fair elections. We want fair elections, obviously, right? We don't want the Democrats to be using illegal immigrants to increase their voter base. It's not exactly working that way for them in Florida now, is it though? With all these people trying to escape communism. But nevertheless, look at what is happening all of a sudden right now. And my question is, do you think there's going to be a draft if Article 5 is invoked? And if there is a draft, what are you going to do? You going to go? You going to go with them and shoot some Ruskies? I ain't going. They're going to have to drag me straight to prison. I ain't fighting their war for them. Definitely not fighting their war off of for oil in eastern Ukraine. I'm not doing it. Joe Biden and his son had contracts to mine or to develop the shale gas fields in eastern Ukraine, and Russia said hell no. They want a piece of that. That's what it's always about, that, guys. What do you think the war in Syria is about? Right? Syria's got how many trillions of tons of natural gas off of their coast, and people aren't even talking about that. Europe needs the natural gas. They want to stop giving money to Russia for the natural gas. They want to get it from the coast of Syria. Why do you think Turkey's all of a sudden got attacked the other day? Another false flag in Istanbul, trying to blame it on somebody that didn't do it. You think the Kurds are out there trying to blow innocent civilians up? No, they're not. The Ottoman Empire that's going to be revived next year, they want the natural gas and the oil that's off the coastline of Syria, and they're going to get it. Watch what they're going to do. They've got their Bayraktar TB2 drones, and they're dropping bombs on PKK fighters in the hills. Right? They've been increasing their attacks on PKK for the last week, 2 weeks. Right? And now they're trying to make it look like PKK is in there blowing people up. I mean, did you see the image of the lady that they arrested? I mean, it looks straight like it's out of a B-rated action film. I mean, she's wearing a leather jacket. She's got, skin tight camo pants on and a remote control with a flower for the antenna. I mean, it's comical. It literally looks like something out of a B-rated action film, some kind of low budget film about terrorism. Who actually wears that kind of stuff? I mean, seriously, are we supposed to believe that? I don't know, guys. Anyways, I'm just making this live video. Personally, I think a lot of crazy stuff's going on right now. Like I said, borders getting shut down, right? The authority that Greg Abbott has now is kind of creepy. All right. I'm not saying I don't want the cartels kicked out. I don't want to fight the cartels, because I do. I want them gone. Okay. But do I think it's going to be just that? I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest with you. He can shut down the border. He can have all of the National Guard on the border with gunships. He can enter into agreements with not just with Mexico, but with any foreign power that wants to help him. And are things going to be? Is his power going to be abused? Could he potentially abuse his power? Yes, absolutely. Right? You could very well see prisoner of war facilities popping up now along the border. Right? And who's he going to put in there? Right? Election deniers? That's my question. Because what we had right just a couple days ago was a fraudulent election all across the United States, right? So who is going to be declared, an enemy of war along the border? I don't trust these people one bit. I don't trust them at all. I'm sorry, I don't trust Greg Abbott either. All right. I hope that what he's doing is legit. I hope that he's only going after the cartels, but I personally don't think it's gonna be like that. So anyways, I don't know what else to say, what to talk about. What are you guys seeing? I'll read the comments for a little bit. Cartels aren't willing to go away. It'll look like a purge on the border. I hope not. I'll tell you what, even though El Paso is mostly blue, most of my friends out here, even my neighbors, we're well armed. We're armed to the teeth. There ain't nothing. No one's gonna come up here and roll through our city easily. I can tell you that right away. Definitely not. I mean, they could do some havoc, but it's gonna be pretty hard. I'm not saying that they couldn't eventually defeat us, but it's we still got a few couple dozen thousands, probably about 25-30,000 of us that can hold our ground. But anyways, and not just that, but El Paso is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We're kind of secluded. So even if El Paso did get overrun, which probably won't, the rest of the country is going to be all right. So yeah. What else you guys seeing? Yeah, thanks, Tab. Appreciate it. I might have to be going down there with the camera and do some live stream if the National Guard gets deployed. You might catch my live stream on that. What's up with the FTX shenanigans? I don't normally talk about blockchain, Bitcoin and all that stuff. Years ago, I was thinking about becoming a miner, but I was listening to what Peter Schiff had to say, and back then he was calling it out as a Ponzi scheme, so I didn't want anything to do with it. But yeah, that's essentially what it was. It was a Ponzi scheme. He was the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he created his own exchange. This guy Sam Bankman-Fried. He created his own exchange, right? And then he had another company, was it Alameda Research. He created a coin on his exchange that he gave to Alameda Research for like pennies. And then just that exchange on his exchange created a momentum in the coin. And then people saw the momentum in the coin and bid the value up. So then all of the holdings that Alameda had increased in value significantly after that, right? So he boosted up his own coin, and it propped up this other company that he had, Alameda. I don't know if that's the way that it happened, but that's the way I understand it. And then he was able to get a lot of people to start investing in that, and he used their money and spent it in other places. And the Alameda, the liquidation that the Alameda had, he over leveraged it, said it was worth like $8 billion or something, and really it was only worth like 85 million or some low ball number. So yeah, and then he ended up hit through his exchange, through the FTX exchange. They laundered money through Ukraine to the Democratic Party. So the Democrats take our taxpayer dollars, right, send it to Ukraine, and then it gets put on the FTX exchange in Ukraine, laundered back to the United States and to the Democratic Party for the midterms, And they still have to cheat, even though they got billions of taxpayer dollars being laundered through Ukraine from FTX. They still had to cheat and steal the election for us. So now what do? They got some false flag over there, most likely. I'm not saying it's 100% a false flag, to invoke Article 5, actually bring us into war so they stay in power, so people don't go out in the streets and demand oversight of the election, demand that the election, the fraud that happened in the election be, brought to light. No, now you got Greg Abbott, saying that there's an invasion on the border and he's getting ready to shut the border down. He's going to put National Guard troops there. Nobody's going to be able to go either side. Nobody's going to be able to come in. Nobody's going to be able to come out. There's a very good possibility he could enter into an agreement with the United Nations, say bring troops here. I mean, holy smokes, guys! Could you imagine seeing a bunch of protesters in Phoenix and Tucson over what happened in Arizona, right? They go out there legitimately because they have the First Amendment right to do so, right? To protest the fraud that happened in the election, right? And then here comes UN to help secure the border, and they squash those protests, right? Why was it just last year? Why was the Chinese and the Mongolians practicing English during their UN training last year? Why were they practicing their English? Well, tell me that. And what happened to those videos? What happened to the videos that were posted on YouTube with that? On the eve of Trump presidential bid, yeah, right on the eve of Trump's announcement to run. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm not exactly 100%, supporter of Trump, but no, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. I don't normally do these live streams. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. So bear with me, guys. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I might have to start keeping a closer eye on what's going on around the border. I might be taking the camera down there and doing some live streams for you guys, because if the National Guard gets activated and they shut it down, I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen if the economy tanks, things go? I mean, you saw what happened in the stock market when this shelling was just reported. People in the stock market know if Article 5 gets invoked, they're going to be pulling their money out. They're going to be scrambling. So, yeah, economy's not going to be doing too well. Yeah, it is a crazy day. Definitely is a crazy day. All right. Well, I guess I'll probably be getting out of here. Doesn't look like many people want to come in and talk about it. For those of you who are still in here, I always harp on this, and I'm going to say it before I end the stream, right? Focus on getting your water preps squared away first, all right? Food's important. Medical supplies are important. Most important thing is water, okay? I always say it when I'm talking about preps. Get your water squared away, and then focus on the other things, okay? Everything else is secondary to water. I don't care if it's winter. I don't care if it's summer, what time of the day it is, or what time of the year, what season of the year. Water is the most important. It always is. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, don't forget, help out your neighbors.